All right, now imagine, if you will, being investigated for safety violations, only to fire the investigators, get their jobs eliminated, and then win a contract from the same agency that was investigating you. Frankly, it sounds like something out of a dystopian science fiction novel, but in reality, it's Elon Musk's real life playbook for the United States of America. So today we will be breaking down how Musk is using the very shadowy and secretive Department of Government Efficiency to fire the very regulators who are investigating him, then securing a massive FAA contract to monitor US air traffic control. This is big, and there are a lot of moving pieces to it. So Doge, as you probably know, was established under the idea of, quote, cutting bureaucratic waste, which sounds great to everyone. It's a great slogan. But in reality, it's been used to eliminate government oversight in ways that benefit major corporations and billionaires, and in particular, Elon Musk. So in early 2023, Elon, through his network of lobbyists, started to push to review what he called, quote, redundant positions at agencies like the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, and the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, both of which were investigating his companies. And so, dissatisfied with the results of those reviews, he decided to spend $300 million buying the presidential election so he could form the most powerful shadow government in US history, Doge. Now, before we get into the mass layoffs that just occurred and then his securing of government contracts, let's talk about why those agencies were investigating Musk in the first place. So, first off, the FAA and SpaceX. So the FAA has been investigating SpaceX for multiple safety violations dating back over the last 5 years, including unauthorized rocket launches, exploding test flights over populated areas, and then environmental regulations and violations of SpaceX's Texas launch site. So in 2021, SpaceX actually launched a rocket without FAA clearance, and in 2023, one of their Starship rockets exploded in midair, sending debris miles away from the launch site. So the FAA then started to look into whether SpaceX was actually just cutting safety corners in order to speed up their launches, and agency officials started hinting at possible penalties for Musk and SpaceX. Now, here's where it gets fishier. But instead of facing consequences, those same FAA investigators are now suddenly out of a job. And now this is not just SpaceX. The NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, was investigating Musk on multiple fronts, particularly Tesla and SpaceX. So Tesla's autopilot crashes, they were investigating multiple accidents, including fatalities, linked to Tesla's so-called self-driving system, which Musk has said is safer than any driving system, but is not approved yet because so many people have been dying with it. And then two, SpaceX's safety procedures, specifically whether they followed proper protocols after a Starship explosion. And guess what? The NTSB hadn't even finished its report on what happened before their team of investigators was fired. So now bring it back to today. The Department of Government Efficiency recommended budget cuts to, quote, reduce redundancy in both the FAA and NTSB. And surprise, surprise, the first people to lose their job were the very regulators overseeing Musk companies. Sources inside both of the agencies, the FAA and NTSB, even reported that the positions that were tied to SpaceX and Tesla investigations were disproportionately affected by the cuts. The corruption just knows no bounds. So just like that, the biggest roadblock to Musk's companies and his government contracts vanished. Now here's where things get really wild. Immediately after these FAA job cuts, and there have been plane crashes around the country going on like crazy, and we can speculate as to why that is. But immediately after these job cuts, the agency now comes forward and awards SpaceX a contract to help modernize US air traffic control. Yes, you heard that right. Musk now has a direct hand in monitoring air traffic control for the FAA. Coincidentally, this comes right after this series of plane crashes that mysteriously followed Doge's cuts to the FAA. So let's recap that. SpaceX was under FAA investigation. The FAA regulators were then fired. SpaceX now gets a major FAA contract. Simply not a coincidence. This has all happened under Musk leadership at the Department of Government Efficiency in the name of cutting bureaucratic waste. So not only does this give Musk even more power over government infrastructure, but it also means he has insider access now to our federal aviation data, which could give SpaceX a major advantage over its competitors. This is corruption at its finest. This is kleptocracy. And let's not forget the massive conflict of interest here. The FAA was supposed to regulate Musk, not hire him. Now, this isn't just about Elon Musk. This is about billionaires dismantling government oversight. This sets a precedent that is frankly terrifying. If billionaires can simply fire the regulators investigating them, win contracts from the agencies that were investigating them, and then take control of US air traffic control, what happens to accountability, fairness, and safety? Is there any semblance of accountability here? Is there any semblance of fairness? Is there any semblance of safety or taking safety seriously? Imagine if a pharmaceutical company fired FDA regulators before launching a new risky drug, or if an oil company replaced EPA scientists to get a pipeline approved faster. That is exactly what's happening here. Now, this is much more than just a dangerous precedent for industry. This is industry taking over the agencies that they were designed to regulate and then getting awarded contracts by those industries. This is kleptocracy at its finest. Be sure to like, subscribe, set notifications. We got a ton planned going forward with Really American Media. I'm Justin Horwitz. Thank you.